In part two, we will continue to explore the important invertebrate phyla in the fossil record. This video will cover the Echinodermata and the Arthropoda. We will begin first with phylum Echinodermata. The photos here represent extant echinoderms, such as starfish, urchins, and brittle stars, as well as extinct echinoderms, such as blastoids. Echinoderms are common in many marine environments and display a wide variety of life strategies in the geologic past. The phylum includes the starfish, brittle stars, sea cucumbers, sea urchins, sand dollars, and sea lilies, as well as the extinct blastoids. They are defined by a unique five-fold or pentameral symmetry and a unique water vascular system. All members of the phylum have a mesodermal skeleton constructed from porous plates of calcite. The crinoids, commonly known as sea lilies, were usually sessile filter feeders. The fossil forms occupied clear, shallow marine benthic environments, but modern forms occupied deep water environments. Their bodies consist of a segmented stalk. They are fixed to the seabed by a root-like structure called a holdfast, a calyx that contains the main functional parts of the animal, and brachioles, which are the feeding arms that extend upward away from the calyx. The illustration shows the body forms of both sessile crinoids and freely mobile crinoids. The extinct blastoids were small, pentamerally symmetric filter feeders with short stems. They lived from the Silurian to the Permian. They have a mouth surrounded by 5 spiracles or openings that are associated with the respiratory system. The pentameral symmetry in the illustrated blastoids is very obvious. The Echinoidea occupy shallow marine nectobenthonic environments. They have a robust, rigid skeleton composed of calcite plates coated by an outer skin covered in spines. The oral surface, which is the bottom, is perforated by the mouth, and the upper aboral surface has the anal opening. The jaw apparatus in the bottom photo, called Aristotle's lantern, also has a pentameral symmetry with 5 individual jaws. The Asteroidea are the starfish. They have an unusual feeding mode. They avulse their stomachs and engulf their prey outside their bodies. They are mainly benthic deposit feeders. They have a primitive vision system consisting of photosensitive cells at the end of their arms. The starfish have a mobile lifestyle, and many are carnivores. Recognizable fossils are rare due to feeble cohesion between the skeletal plates. Basically, when they die, they simply fall apart. Phylum Arthropoda are varied and inhabit many terrestrial and aquatic environments. These photos show a variety of modern arthropods, as well as the extinct trilobites and eurypterids. The phylum first appeared in the Cambrian, with many of the Burgess fauna being considered arthropods or stem arthropods. All members have both segmented bodies and appendages. The segments are generally differentiated into head, thorax, and abdomen, with the exception of the trilobites, which have different names for their segments. Arthropods have exoskeletons constructed from chitin, which is an organic substance that is often sclerotized or hardened by calcium carbonate or calcium phosphate. We have discussed the ecdysozoa before as a group of bilaterians. Virtually all of the main groups of arthropods grow by molting, a process called ecdysis. They are adapted to life in marine, freshwater, and terrestrial environments. A great variety of arthropod types form much of the basis for the Cambrian explosion, and trilobite fauna have formed the basis for many paleogeographic reconstructions of the Cambrian and Ordovician world. This table serves as a simple reference to the 5 arthropod subphyla, their characteristics, and the range that they are found in geologic time. Note that the trilobites are the only subphylum that is extinct. Subphylum Trilobitomorpha includes mainly the trilobites, with over 15,000 known fossil species. They were an important part of the mobile benthos, although a few groups were adapted to pelagic life modes. Trilobites have provided key evidence in studies of macroevolution. Trilobites are divided longitudinally into three lobes. The axial lobe in the center covers and protects the digestive system. The two pleural lobes on the left and the right cover the walking appendages and respiratory organs or gills. Their body segments are differentiated into three sections. The cephalon, which is the head, has a raised central area called the glabella with lateral compound eyes. The thorax, the middle part, is made up of approximately 40 thoracic segments in most, but not all species. And the pygidium, the tail, is a plate of between 1 and 30 fused segments. With these segmented bodies, most trilobites could roll up to avoid unpleasant environmental conditions or predators, much like pillbugs in your yard do today. This illustration shows the labeled body segments and the three longitudinal lobes that the general trilobite, or that makes up the general trilobite morphology. On the top, you can see the cephalon, the thorax, and the pygidium. On the bottom are the longitudinal lobes, the left pleural lobe, the axial lobe, and the right pleural lobe. Trilobites have the oldest known visual system based upon eyes. Their eyes have mineralized lenses of calcite. Each little bump that you see on this eye that the yellow arrow is pointing to is an independent lens. Trilobite exoskeletons, like the one in this photo, also developed different arrangements of hard spines for protection against predation. The subphylum Chelicerata is a diverse group including mites, scorpions, spiders, and the extinct sea scorpions. Their morphology is defined in terms of the prosoma, which is the head and thorax, and the opistosoma, which is the abdomen. There are two main groups, the merostomes, which are the aquatic horseshoe crabs and extinct sea scorpions, and the arachnids, mainly composed of terrestrial spiders and scorpions. This is a fossil of a Eurypterid, an extinct merostome, commonly called a sea scorpion. You can see the segments in this well-preserved specimen. Many of these animals could reach more than 8 feet long. The Myriapoda are a very group comprising the millipedes, centipedes, and others. They first appeared during the Middle Silurian, and some of the largest forms were nearly 2 meters long. They were the first animals to colonize land, with clear evidence of a respiratory system in fossils dated to the Middle Silurian and indirect evidence in the form of tracks dated to the Middle Ordovician. The hexapoda are the insects. They can be divided into pterygotes with wings and apterygotes without wings. The hexapods have 6 unbranched appendages, a simple gut, a single pair of antennae, a pair of mandibles, and a toughened head capsule. The oldest is from the late Silurian to early Devonian, but by the end of the Permian period, most of the familiar insect orders had evolved. The last subphylum contains many animals that should be familiar to you. Subphylum Crustacea, which includes crabs, lobsters, shrimp, barnacles, and microscopic ostracods. They all have a hard, crusty carapace, gills, mandibles, 2 pairs of antennae, and stalked compound eyes. They are a primarily aquatic group that first appeared in the Cambrian. The majority grow by ecdysis. This is the end of part 2. Our next exploration is phylum Mollusca, which includes 3 distinct classes important to the fossil record.